Come on in the room. Come on in the room. The Bucks win it. The Bucks win it tonight. 109-94 over the Indiana Pacers. Come on in the room. Doc is our doctor. He writes out all our scriptures. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. The Cream City crossover. It's the Guru, Trey Crosby III.
JT.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in the building. The Bucks are winners 109-94. Feeling good. Tell us how you're feeling. You have to feel good. The Bucks are up 1-0 in the series. Lots of question marks. Lots of things that are going on. People wondering how the Bucks are going to react. How are they going to come out? And they came out smoking tonight. And the Bucks get the win over the Indiana Pacers. Good evening, everybody. You are tuned in to the Cream City crossover Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. The Guru, JT in the building. No Chris King, so I want to apologize in advance for any audio mishaps, anything that you may have seen visually that doesn't align with what we've done in the past. Sometimes we have the Chris, the content king creator. You may have seen some of that stuff, but Chris is not here. He's on vacation. He'll be back for game 2. So I'm running the show a little bit too behind the scenes. So any things that go wrong, blame me. It's all my bad. All right, we're gonna go with what we got. We're gonna get through this thing. Get at me on the Twitter at TCIIESQ. Get at me in the chat. We're gonna get at it. We're gonna talk about this thing. The Bucks win it 109-94. And again, you just have to feel good about that win with so many question marks. No Giannis, no problem. The Bucks are able to figure it out and they get the dub. Just extremely proud of this group and how they do this thing. Let's get to some people are telling me about my appearance on camera now.
You got jokes?
Yeah, got
already?
Little jokes coming in. Let's get to the game recap, sponsored as always by the law office of Daily M. Johnson. When you need defense where?
Off the court.
Off the court. You get that defense off the court. Criminal defense, trafficking, OWI defense, temporary restraining orders, and injunctions. Call the law office of Daily M. Johnson, 608-893-8370.
70.
Yeah, and you get at him for all of your criminal defense needs. Let me make sure I get the website here. Like I said, doing a lot of things trying to pull this up. Go to the website, www.dmjlaw.com. Sign up for a free phone or in-person consultation. That's the law office of Daily M. Johnson, Service Central and South Central Wisconsin, with our game recap. And the game recap is as follows. Damian Lillard was electric in the first half of this basketball game, okay? 35, 6, and 3. All 35 coming in the first half. He was 11 for 24, 45% from the field, 6 of 11 from 3, 7 of 7 from the line. Crazy because it's plus-minus. He ends up as a -6 on the night, which, again, just wild how that happens. But Damian Lillard puts up 35, absolutely carried the Bucks in the first half as the Bucks went out to a huge lead. Pat Beverly with 5 points, 7 boards, and 8 assists. How about that? Patrick Beverly puts up the same amount of assists and rebounds as Tyrese Halliburton. So again, we'll get to all this because I'm excited right now. But 5 points from so really the play of Tyrese Halliburton, and I know I just saw this. The play of Tyrese Halliburton and the play of Patrick Beverly matched Hallie. We had 4 less points, had 7 boards, 8 assists. That's winning basketball. Brook Lopez putting posters on people. 32 minutes from Brook Lopez in a playoff game. 11 points, 4 boards. Bobby Portis gives you 15 and 11. A double-double from him. Chris Middleton, 23, 10, and 4 assists. He plays 34 minutes. JT, we talked about what can you expect from Chris Middleton? What can he bring? If Chris Middleton is a 23 and 10 guy in the playoffs, you're cooking. You're cooking with gas. He was a plus 25 on the night. Malik Beasley, 9 points, 4 boards off the bench, 3 of 7 from 3. That's 43%. I'll take that, Bees.
I'll take that.
I'll take that all night long, Bees.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yo.
Whoa. Now, see, you didn't have to. Man, we got to re-record.
Let's start there. We edit that out. Edit that out in the draft. My bad. No, Diddy. Pat Connaughton with 6 points. 2 for 5 from the field. AJ Green, we'll talk about him. He had a rough night. Jay Crowder, though, 5 points, 3 rebounds. Jay Crowder in the fourth quarter, again, just great minutes from a veteran tonight from Jay Crowder. Veteran minutes. It was like a 12, 11-point game, whatever it was. Jay Crowder put up a 3, then got a steal on Siakam. Really kind of put the game away. Maybe they were up 12 and went up 15 with his 3, whatever it was. Good stuff. On the Indiana side of things, Halliburton, 9.7 boards, 8 assists, non-factor. Nembhard just got himself handed to him. Damian Lillard actually went to work on him the entire first half. 6 points for Nembhard. Miles Turner, 17 and 8, 17 points on 17 shots. He jacked up threes all night long. Siakam was the only real bright spot for Indiana offensively. He had 36 and 13. I'm not too worried about that because that's one of those things that when Giannis gets back, he's not putting up 36 points. And then Nesmith was 7 points. Off the bench, TJ McConnell, 10 points, non-factor. Obi Toppin with 4 points. The Bucks did a really good job defensively on this Indiana basketball team. Tell you what I saw before I turn this over to you, JT. I saw a team that was locked in. I saw, two things. In the first half, I mean, you just have to talk about the shot making from Damian Lillard, right? Like that was, the most impressive thing that you could really talk about was how he played. And again, JT, I'll say this. This is what we've been asking for. That first half of Damian Lillard is exactly what we've asked for. It's why we've held him to that high standard. That was top 75. That was Hall of Fame. That was, I'm better than you. There's nothing you can do about it because I'm one of the best players on the planet. That's one of those, the aliens come down and be like, damn, Damian Lillard is like that. That's what they would have thought tonight. That's what we want to see from a Damian Lillard. That's who the Bucks traded for. That's what keeps John Horse's job. That's what keeps Doc Rivers looking like a genius tonight. So I thought, again, the first half of Damian Lillard, I won't get into the second half. Maybe we can talk about that when we get to our Game 2 feelings. But the first half of Damian Lillard, he kept the Bucks afloat and really took the confidence from the Indiana Pacers. They talked about it on TNT, the halftime show. And one of the things they talked about, Shaq and Kenny and Chuck, they really discussed and went over the fact that Indiana looked like a young team. They looked like a team that hadn't been there before. So all the time we ask these questions of why do you why does this group look like this? Why do veterans play? Why are we not playing the young guys? Should you play a couple, maybe, you should here and there. But the reason is because when you get to the playoffs, when you get to moments like these, the guys ain't looking around like, hey, we ain't never been here before. And can you really blame the Pacers? Because they haven't. They have not been here before. Tyrese Halliburton looked like a guy who was playing his first career playoff game. He looked like the moment was too big, the lights were too bright. Maybe that will change as we get into Game 2 and the series goes on. But the Bucks absolutely did what they needed to do. Defensively, they played well. I thought in the second half, the Pacers did a couple things. Rick Carlisle, number one. Rick Carlisle, and that's the other thing. I'll mention this before I get to you, JT. For all the talk about Doc Rivers, Rick Carlisle is I've been a long-time truther on Rick Carlisle. I don't think he has a coaching advantage over Doc Rivers. The first half, and the reason Damian Lillard slowed down the second half is because they finally decided to really hedge and double him. I think they didn't think they needed to do that because there was no Giannis, and they wanted to kind of get away with not doing the coverages like that. That may have slowed Dame down the second half where they really doubled him and blitzed him off the screens and when he was coming off the picks. But they waited far too long to do it. The game, you're down. You can't wait till you're down 30 and start making adjustments. I guess you can, but it hurt them. And so I think Rick Carlisle messed up there. And offensively in the second half, if you notice, they started really getting a lot of good open looks offensively when Halliburton was driving and kicking and popping and some of those things. But Halliburton just didn't look good. Looked like the moment was too big for him. They offensively couldn't get what they needed. Siakam was the only person that could really do anything for them. And the Bucks, again, they just played a really good brand of basketball. The veterans played well. You had Dame in the first half. You had complimentary basketball in the second half. And the Bucks won this thing 109-94. They're up 1-0 on the series. That's what I saw, JT. What'd you see?
What I saw was everything you saw and some. This was an absolutely beautiful first half from Damian Lillard. And one thing that I want to make clear right now, and I know, Bucks fans were split on Dame during the regular season, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to say, listen, Damian Lillard 100% has a chance to endear himself in the hearts of Bucks fans playing like this in the playoffs. 100% chance. And I will also say that Damian Lillard, everything that he does, he puts together a strong strong first round, second round, third, whatever it is. He puts together strong performance in the playoffs. Nobody cares about what happens in the regular season at all. Nobody cares at all. It is completely moot whatever happened in the regular season. So I want to say that. I want to say Dame, what I liked so much about Dame tonight, yes, he was hitting shots, and yes, he was killing it, but he looked decisive. He looked aggressive. Dame was out there playing like somebody on the Pacers said something crazy. Somebody on the Pacers had to say something crazy about somebody he loved. I mean, Dame was on a vengeance tonight in that first half. He was. I mean, he was giving any and everybody work. You look at how he was. You look at how he was scoring the different way. He was driving, he hitting threes. I mean, 6 for 10 from three. 6 for 10 from three in the first half. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He was cooking, and I think he was like 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Dame, I just can't say enough about how he came out the gate, and that's what this team needed. You didn't have Giannis. You had a Pacers team that was probably far too confident. I mean, I think they were probably confident based on the first half of the season, but what does that mean? Because this is a team that kind of fell apart in the second half of the season for stretches for that, and they didn't look like they just looked like they didn't look like they belonged out there. Tyrese Halliburton was borderline self-check. I mean, yes, Patrick Beverley, and at one point, Tyrese Halliburton wasn't even looking for looks. And did you know the wild thing about the Pacers, and you talk about this is a team, they were the second highest offensive scoring team in the league this year. You realize they didn't have a single guard tonight outside of TJ McConnell getting the double digits, and he got 10 points on 5 of 13 shooting. That's nothing worth bragging about. You know, that's one of those things where, look, Siakam did his thing tonight, and at the end of the day, they can't beat you. Siakam and Turner can't beat you. You need these Pacers guards to cook. Look, we give 35 to Siakam every night. That doesn't matter. And keep in mind, the Pacers can't defend, and you saw that they just can't. Dude, their best defense is another made 3-pointer, but boy, when that does not show up, it is looking rough for them. Shout out to Chris Middleton tonight, man. 15 points in that second half. He had 8 in that first. And just the way he was hitting shots. I mean, Chris Middleton deserves a lot of credit for that second quarter because Dame goes crazy in that first quarter. He sits that first 5 or 6 minutes in that second quarter, and the Bucks were on a 14-3 run. You know, Chris and company, the supporting cast, kept the foot on the necks of the Pacers. And I think, again, that first quarter was probably a bit backbreaking for the Pacers. That second quarter really was backbreaking when they opened that lead up and they went into halftime, 27-point advantage. Supporting cast tonight. I mean, again, you know, Malik Beasley, it wasn't great, but hey, I like the 3-pointers, especially in that fourth quarter. It meant something. It was beautiful seeing the back-to-back possessions when Malik hit a 3, Crowder hit a 3 as well. Doc ran 9 tonight. Pacers ran 11 in the first half and still couldn't get anything going. We got to take this win and stack this one on up there. And if Giannis, I'm happy about this for a couple reasons. One, we started the series the way we need to. We need to go ahead and let the Pacers know y'all can't play with it. There's just levels to this thing. Y'all don't belong here. Your boy Siakam had 36 points, and that was about as good as a flashlight in the middle of the wilderness, right? Like, okay, there's a little bit of light there, but it ain't going to, it's going to help you a little bit, but it's not. There's going to be no material impact there. And I just like the fact that how these guys stepped up, held the Pacers to like 20% from 3-point shooting nights, 16% in that first half, and you just demoralized them. You took their souls. You stashed some souls tonight. That's what I saw, and I'm looking forward to game 2.
Absolutely. And again, I echo all of that. I can't agree more, JT. A lot of people in the comments saying, that Dame got the Glorilla special. People saying, he was playing like Glorilla was in attendance. I don't know if you know that Glorilla tweeted out fire emojis during the game. She had the Glow Lillard jersey that she posted as well. I don't know if there's a thing going on, but whatever it is, whatever the mojo is, keep doing whatever y'all do. I don't know and I don't care. But keep doing whatever it is y'all are doing because we need all of this. Who would have thought when this thing started, Glorilla may have saved the Milwaukee Bucks season? A 109-94 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat the Pacers tonight. JT, I'm taking all the wins. However you get them, we're taking them all. What's up?
I just gotta know something.
Yeah.
So we know about Glorilla and her recent arrest, right? Yeah. Where does Glorilla live?
Who knows? I don't know. She can a driver.
No, but can she even leave the state?
I don't know, but I'm no
If
no
she
idea.
Arrested, you got a pending court date. I'm just
Listen,
curious if she can even leave the state.
all I know
way,
is I don't know if we need her for round one. Whenever the Bucks get to the Celtics, she got to be courtside. We need a courtside against the Celtics because I need Damian Lillard to go off for. I can't need the first half. I need the second half too.
If you read some of these listeners in the chat, you don't need a courtside. You need her in the hotel room.
Well, yeah, I know. I know.
Right, you need her. Right, yeah, right. Need her at the Hyatt.
Chris King says Glorilla needed Daly M. Johnson. So yeah.
Damn it, Chris.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Chris King, man. That's my guy.
But yeah, man. I mean, getting back to this thing, I just you mentioned it. You talked about the Bucks snatcher souls, and you talked about how it almost seems as if Indiana didn't know what was coming, and they came into the game right with a lot of confidence, right? I agree with you. I 100% agree with you that they did have a lot of confidence coming into this game, that they thought they would be okay. They thought that everything, that everything you saw in the regular season was going to translate to the postseason. And it does not. Again, that is one of the things about the playoffs. It does not translate all the time. It doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. What matters is the playoffs. So let's talk about Damian Lillard in the playoffs. JT, I ask you this. I know we joked about Glorilla, but why do you think we saw this performance from Damian Lillard? Do you think it had? Do you think that it's just the playoffs are different? Do you think that? Do you put anything into that? Do you put anything into him getting his mind cleared? And I do want to get to the second half of Damian Lillard, but in that first half he was so good and so fantastic that it like you said it broke the backs of the Indiana Pacers. Why do you think that happened? Because Dame was aggressive. We've seen Dame shoot the ball. We've seen Dame do these things. We haven't really seen him put it together on a consistent basis and in a big time. Well, I would say he's done it a couple times, but in a big time game like this where you need it, Dame Lillard put one together, put a performance on the first half for the ages. Do you think it has something to do with Giannis being out? Like what do you think contributed to Damian Lillard playing the way he did in the first half?
Well, and by the way, here's a quick fact for you. His first half point total of 35, that is the highest first half point total for anybody in a playoff series since 2019 when Kevin Durant had 38. It was in 2019, Kevin Durant had like 38 in the first half for the Warriors. So tells you how remarkable that is and how impressive that is from a historical perspective. Now, the thing about Damian Lillard, I think happened. He's been going through a lot this year. And I feel like he just had a moment where he said, I'm going to remind y'all, one, of who I am. Two, I am going to silence all these doubters, everybody, national media. Stephen A. Smith's running with crazy stories, people that are posting all this stuff about him not being happy, him not, now. I mean, I remember there was a story that came out in the All-Star break, but then this stuff that just came out recently, a week ago, where Stephen A. Smith said he's not happy, you got to get him out of there, he wants out of Milwaukee, he don't want to be there. All that frustration, all the personal stuff, and I think for Damian Lillard, it just seems like basketball was the refuge that it's been for so many athletes. Period. It was the refuge. It's like this is my kingdom, and I'm gonna do what I got to do here. And I'm gonna show everybody who I am. I am gonna quiet all the noise. I'm gonna lock in. And literally, I mean, it was. He literally looked like he was in a zone. It was crazy, like that first half. I mean, it was probably the best first half we've seen a Bucks player have in the play ever. In the play, I mean, I wasn't around for Lou Alcindor, right? Mama named Lou. I mean, y'all know him as Kareem, but all right, y'all know how we do this, right? I wasn't around for him, but I mean, I would imagine that's probably the best first half, at least from a statistical perspective, that the Bucks have probably seen ever in the playoffs.
Well, JT, here's the thing, though. This was for. I saw the stat, and if I can find it, let us know in the comments if you can find it. But I believe this was and again, this is just the first half. He didn't score in the second half. That was the most points in a playoff game that Drew Holiday's ever hit, and Eric Bledsoe. I think Drew Holiday's playoff career high was playoff high for the Bucks was 33. I believe Eric Bledsoe's career playoff high for the Bucks was 28. So in the first half of Damian Lillard's first ever playoff game with the Milwaukee Bucks, he goes over that total. Just goes to show you what the Bucks have seen from the point guard position over the last couple years, over the last forever, if you want to go that far. But again, especially when you're looking at what you're seeing from the last couple point guards from the Bucks. Dame was he was good, man. Like there's again, and so there are a couple comments that came my way on Twitter, right, where people are like, well, you got to stay on that side, and you got to listen. And I just make this clear, very clear. That tells me you haven't been listening. What we've always said from the very beginning, and JT, I know you'll back me up. People, if you listen, you should back me up. What we've always said is we hold Damian Lillard to a higher standard. If you know you have, it's just like a kid, JT. If your child is in school making C's and D's, and you know that kid can get A's, I'm gonna come down hard on that kid. Now, if I got a kid that's a troublemaker and just if I got a kid and people know, the kind of kids that everybody's different. There are some kids that college ain't for you, buddy. There are some kids that are out there that are just like that. Hey, C's is about all you can make. And if that's all if that's the best you can be, I can't be mad. I can't be mad if that's the best you can be. Like Malik Beasley can't go out and put up 30 and do a 35-point half on any type of, because I can't expect that from Malik Beasley. I'm not gonna expect that from AJ Green. I don't expect that from Andre Jackson. I know you can't do that, so I'm not gonna hold you to that standard. But Damian Lillard, I know you can do that, so I hold you to a high standard, and that's what we want to see. Now again, whether you call it flipping the switch, whatever, what have you, that's fine. But the point is, we didn't see it. We wanted to see it, and all we did was ask to see it. We want you. Sometimes you get in math class, JT, and you start coming up with all these answers. People say, "Well, he knows the answer." Show you what the teacher say, JT. Show your work. You gotta show your work. And he didn't show a lot of his work this year. And in the playoffs, he's come and he's played very well so far. Especially at least in the first half. So again, when you don't play well, I'm gonna come down on you. When you play well, you get all the praise, and that's how it should be. And
to be fair, I do think that Dame also realized I got Pat Bev out here who's going to check Halliburton. I ain't got to work that hard because Nemar's not going to do nothing. He's going to take up space 90% of the time. He may get buckets here and there, but I'm not worried about that too. And neither one of them can guard him. That's the other thing is Dame Lillard realized it doesn't matter who the hell they put out there on the perimeter. Nobody can check him. And so that's why, and I think that led to the aggression. That led to Dame just continuing to say, all right, I'm going to keep my throat on these boys next. It doesn't matter. So throw any of them out there on the perimeter, they're getting work. And that's exactly what happened.
No, 100%, 100%. All right, let's get to some of the comments here on the chat. Green Ranger says, "Let's go Bucks. Hopefully these old slugs make some open shots." Mac for better tomorrow says Dame time. Karan Jammer Kenner says Dame went supernova in the first half. I hope Doc is smart enough to get everyone else involved in the second half because we'll need everyone to be in a good rhythm for the rest of the series. Q Money Adventure says, "Man, Dame pulled a draw 4 Uno card. A lot of Dame times." Al Farouk Amino for 3. Just give the eyeballs. State of Mind says, "Is playoff Dame real?" Bucks did a great job moving the ball, moving the defense. Love to see it. The Pfizer form was rocking today. I thought so too. I thought the crowd noise really. I thought the crowd noise was good, and it came across well on the TV. Super Delinka says, "We must thank Glorilla for her service." And he also says we want 3 more swings of the belt to ass. We need 3 more wins, 3 more swings on that belt. Absolutely, you saw a lot of that. And then we'll read a couple more here. Somebody said JT telling the truth. And then King of King says if Giannis and Dame can click in the playoffs, look out. Empty Eclipse says, "Trust the process. It takes a time for 2 alpha superstars to figure this out." And then Calvin Racing says, "Dame can't play his game with Giannis on the floor." Just facts. Let's stay right there, though, JT. And again, I don't want to already skip ahead to game 2 because I want to talk about that in a second. But do you think, that is, well, I guess I want to say there was tonight a product, right, of no Giannis on the floor, right? Like, can Damian, is there a way that you can see Damian? Because again, at the end of the day, if the Bucks want to win a championship, that they've got to be able to play together. Can Dame do that when Giannis eventually comes back?
I think he can. I think he 100% can. I think the difference tonight, though, is it does seem like Dame realized, listen, this thing is going to run through me tonight. this is going to fall on my shoulders tonight. And you see that aggression that you didn't see that tentativeness. You didn't see him sometimes not taking advantage of looks, just some of the things you typically do see. And I think that's probably normal when you first start sharing a court with a superstar like that, like Giannis, and you've never been in that situation before. So I think tonight, from a mental perspective and a preparation perspective, Dame realized this thing is going to run through me. I have the ultimate green light. I need to be the guy out there making plays. If this we're gonna rise and fall with me tonight, and I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that we rise, to make sure that that I do my part. With Giannis, I think it's going to be a bit different there. But, having said that, he may not get as many looks, but I certainly think Dame can maintain the same amount of aggression. I think they can play together, and I certainly think he can. They both can replicate this. The reality of it is the Pacers can't guard anybody. So if Dame gets cooking and Giannis gets cooking, you are looking at a 30-plus night for both of them.
That's what you want to see, and I agree. I think they definitely can figure out a way to play together, and again, that's what everybody needs. And if the Bucks can do that, like somebody just said in the chat, look out, absolutely look out for these Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks win it 109-94. JT, I want to get your thoughts on some of the other contributors. King of Kings says Pat Bev set the tone defensively from day one. He absolutely has. But again, Chris Middleton, 23 and 10. Bobby Portis, 15 and 11. Brook Lopez with 11 points tonight. And then Patrick Beverly with 8 assists, 7 boards. From the other guys tonight, JT. And again, you got to think about it, because in the second half, Damian Lillard doesn't score. And the Pacers made their move, and I think they got it to within 12. Or 11 did they get it to 12? I think 12 was about as close as they might have got it to 12 or 13.
12 or 14, yeah.
Something like
14,
that.
Yeah.
So it really was a lot of the other guys that came in. I think one of the biggest plays of the fourth quarter, Chris Middleton comes down, boom, immediately hits a 3-ball to start the fourth. And I think Bobby Portis got an and one right there that with the very next possession. What did you look at from the other guys? Like I said, the Chris's, the Bobbies, the Brooks, and the Pat Beverleys, and so on. Even Pat Connaughton. What did you see from those guys that you liked, didn't like, and what can carry over into Game 2 and into the series?
Well, one thing I'll say tonight is, and in that first half, especially when Dame went out. When Dame went out in that first half, you saw Chris and Bobby and Co. Literally that 14-3 run in that second quarter, was extremely important, because again, that opens up the lead on the Pacers and kind of keeps this thing going. And again, Chris, 15 solid points in that second half as well. I mean, you also saw Bobby doing his part, efficiency, making plays there. That was important. Brooke, I don't know about Brook from a defensive perspective, but I don't really want to go there right now. But I don't really know about Brook from the defensive perspective.
I thought Brook was good tonight. I thought, to be honest, I thought he looked spry tonight. He did end up with 3 blocks. But go ahead. I thought Brook was okay defensively tonight, at least.
I mean, yeah, okay. I get it.
I'm just looking at his match. I mean, his matchup, Miles Turner on the other side was 5 of 17. Yeah, 30% from the field.
Okay. I'll give you that, right? And I think that I think both teams' benches combined for around 20 points as well. But really, Bobby and Chris, that's who you needed to step up. Pat Bev did his thing tonight, and it's not even offensively from Patrick Beverly. Again, remember, you have a weapon like that can check pretty much any point guard just about every point guard in the league, and he did a great job on Halliburton. Halliburton. Those guys were complete non-factors because of that. I think everybody did their parts tonight, and that's what you need, was everybody to just do their part. Even Malik Beasley, who we've been talking about for weeks, who's been in a slump. 3 for 7 tonight, boy, 3 for 7 looks great when you see him 2 for 10. You know what I mean? When you see numbers like that, I mean, 3 for 7, you can't complain about that when you see him 2 for 12. So, yeah, everyone stepped up. I really like those back-to-back threes, and I thought that was another momentum-changing thing too, right? The back-to-back threes from Beasley and Crowder in that fourth quarter, and you just see it. You saw these guys feeling it, taking advantage of their moments. So it was a good look by the supporting cast.
K&A family says Dame was cinema tonight. He absolutely was. Let's jump to the Twitter chat and see what's going on Twitter. It's always interesting on there. Sunk345, that's Sunk345, says Dame did what he needed to do. Malik Beasley was surprisingly good and was huge tonight. AJ Green was straight trash. Hopefully this was just one game or playoff nerves. TJ McConnell is annoying. Now, I do want to stop there, and I want to just mention to AJ Green. Again, and we said it for a second, but this is why veterans play. This is why coaches love veterans. This is why, because it's hard to play those young guys when they're not ready. Again, and maybe that goes something for, the fact that, hey, maybe he should have played more throughout the rest of the year. Again, it is one game. I still believe that AJ Green can contribute, and I think he will be a factor at some point. But can you consistently trust him? I don't know. There was a moment, and I think, like I said, when it got to 12-14, whatever it was, when Indiana was on their run, it was almost like the Pacers hadn't read the scouting report because they literally left AJ Green open in the corner. I think it was like 3 straight times, and he missed 3 threes in a row. And it was like one of those moments where, you're trying to those are good shots. Those are shots that AJ Green normally makes and he should make, but he didn't hit them. He only played 5 minutes tonight. You had to take him out because, again, he's there to shoot and score the ball, and when you're not shooting and scoring the ball, it's a problem. But did AJ Green, the guy that we've advocated for minutes for tonight, just didn't. I thought his defense was good though, but offensively, he's got his shots.
Well, but that's his value add, right? If AJ Green's not hitting threes, what's he doing for you? I mean, because again, not to say that defensively, like you said, he looks good defensively, but that's not why you're playing him. You're not playing him for his defense. You just aren't. You're playing AJ Green to hit those wide open looks. So there's a reasonable amount of disappointment when he's not. Especially when you're like, oh yeah, I've seen him do that all day. I've seen him do that a ton of times.
100%. As Chris King says, we need the likes. We need the likes in this chat. If you let me tell you something. If you are in this chat right now, you're excited that the Bucks got a win, that they did what they were supposed to do. They get the dub, 109-94 over the Indiana Pacers. Like the chat right now. Again, we really greatly appreciate it here at the Cream City Crossover. At Classy Now says, great game from us. Defense solid. Kept Halliburton quiet. Bucks in 4. Just wish Dame was a bit more aggressive in the second half. 0 points for him. At A_Payne says the Bucks needed a feel-good win, so I'm glad we got that. Pacers made some adjustments toward the end of the game, so I'll be interested to see how Doc counters. And can we please use Ajax Marjan? I'm just going to say this, a real naysayer at A_Payne. Ajax and Marjan are not playing. Again, he played 9 guys tonight. Maybe there's a moment where you put those guys in, but tonight wasn't the night. Not when you're rolling like this, not when you're playing like this. And I thought the energy was high. I think Ajax would need to come in if for whatever reason you don't have high energy. But tonight you had that. Like the energy was high, the energy was good. I thought guys were flying around. You got guys diving on the floor for loose basketballs. But you saw a lot of that. And I thought the Bucks was good. I thought Bobby's energy was good. So yeah, I didn't think Ajax was really like needed. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Right. You're up 27. You're up 27 at one point. Is there a missed opportunity for Doc when it comes to AJ and Marjan to just not put him in for even a couple minutes, even a handful of minutes, even not give him some run? Was that a missed opportunity?
No, not again. Not at this point in the playoffs. Again, that's a regular. The missed opportunities for me took place in the regular season. When you had those opportunities in the regular season and you didn't do that. In the playoffs, no. There are no, hey, let me get 2-3 minutes here. We missed that this year. That time came and has now passed. And, it's one of those things you learn for next year and see what happens with Ajax and Marjan. I really think Marjan can be a piece. Again, I look at Dante DiVincenzo and think that, Marjan can be kind of like that, defensive-minded, can slash, can hit threes as well, and be a contributor, try and find his way into a rotation. But it's one of those things, I don't think you can do it now. It's too late, and you got to make sure your horses are ready to run. I don't know that you can, give 2-3 minutes to. Again, this game, you talk about being up 27, this game ended and, Indiana was on a run, and so, you never know how those couple minutes could have gone. At Drew Behringer says, great start. Second was concerning, but probably a lack of focus, and the fourth quarter started great. On to game 2. At Deep Pappy P says, Dame needed a halftime Glorilla BJ recharge. Okay. Y'all, come on, y'all. Come on. Come on, y'all.
Hey, man.
Come on, y'all.
Hey.
Come on, y'all. Come on.
Hey.
Come on.
No, she's not famous enough for people to be tracking her private jet. You know, like the little people on Twitter tracking people. No, she's not famous enough for that. But if she can leave the state, provided she can leave the state, would she live in Texas, California?
I have no clue where.
Man, you know
what? No, she's from Memphis. I don't know where she was when she got arrested though. She's from Memphis.
If only I had a computer in my hand to tell me where she actually lives. Hang on, let me find out. Yeah. But I am curious if she can leave the state because I know she does have.
Yeah, she should be able to lead the state with a little DUI. But yeah, like I said, I think I remember Gucci Mane used to show up to the games. So I think it'd be, I know the Packers were there today. I think that would be a cool culturally significant moment if you had Glorilla show up to courtside together. I think it'd be dope. Georgia. Okay, yeah, makes sense.
That's where she's at. She got it in Macon, Georgia.
That makes sense. At Kashaya Taj says, we'll have to make adjustments how to use Dame being doubled from 94 feet. Pacers want others to beat them, and I'll do a couple more here. At Bones Brett XC the third says, exceptional defense by Middleton all night long. Sucks we didn't get the Dame 50-60 piece, but we got the dub. Don't think we'll see Giannis until we get to Indianapolis. And then Abu Drame Diamande says, Hallie is humble now, buddy. Remember all that? A lot of talk Halliburton did during the in-season tournament, tapping the wrist and all that. And again, tonight, none of that. He just was not good. I wonder what he had to say post-game, and again, how the Pacers are feeling, because but at the end of the day, here's how I feel, and we'll get into, and I want to talk about what we think about Game 2. Bucks win 109-94 over the Pacers. And I'll ask you guys in the chat, like, how are you feeling Game 2? So we've kind of talked about what happened in Game 1. Bucks got a win. They win. It was a convincing win. I don't think anybody can say anything else about that. But two things I want to get to before we call tonight here, JT. One, how do you feel the momentum will carry into Game 2? Do you think there is any momentum that carries into Game 2, or is it just do you take these as two entirely different ball games, right? Like nothing, you can't take anything from Game 1 to Game 2. I've heard that school of thought. Sometimes you can take the momentum from Game 1 to Game 2. I want to know your thoughts on that. The other thing is, I kind of want to get to the second half from Damian Lillard. And the question I kind of want to get to is, because, and again, 35, it was a great night. I mean, he played like 19, 20 minutes in the first half and finished with 35 points. So he basically he had a full game's worth of greatness in 20 minutes. But the second half did happen. And I think Damian Lillard, he wasn't as aggressive. He did not score. Now, he should have. He did get fouled on an and-1 that inexplicably, I just don't understand how they don't, how that was not a continuation and-1. I don't get that one. So he should have at least finished with 38, but that's another story. But what Dame do we get in Game 2? Because I think that's a fair question. Are you going to get the first half Dame where he's aggressive, he's hitting shots? Is that locked in Dame that you're going to have? Or are you going to have more like the second half Dame where, and again, I just want to be clear, I don't want to dampen anything that took place tonight because I think Damian Lillard was excellent. But in the second half, and again, it would have been tough for him to do what he did in the first half again anyway. He wasn't going to go for 70 or 60 because he had 30. Well, he had 35. He wasn't going to go for 70. But do you see more of the second half being closer to the Dame that we see? Because we saw both of those guys throughout the regular season this year. We saw primetime Dame, and we saw this isn't as good Dame. What do you contribute the second half to? Do you think that will carry over the second half? And then just overall thoughts on the Bucks pace of the series and what Game 2 will look like too.
I mean, in the second half, he didn't need to. I'm gonna go for the defend Dame here for a second. You gave 35 in that first half. You were up 27 going into the second. You could have kept foot on the gas here, but he only had 5 shots in that second half, right? Like it wasn't really. I mean, he was 11 for 19 in the first. Finishes his game 11 for 24. He let off the gas a little bit, but that's because you had guys like Chris Middleton going. You had other guys on the team that got going in that second half too, and he really didn't. I mean, he didn't really need to. Dame didn't. Yes, it would have been nice if we saw 60 points from Dame. It's like, wow, hey, Dame's first playoff game for the Bucks ever. We see, one of the highest point totals of his career. But he didn't really have to maintain that level of aggression in that second half because the supporting cast did step up. And that's something that I want to look at that in totality here, because I certainly don't want to focus on, hey, 35 in the first, nothing in the second. Well, listen, it's not like he came out that second half and all of a sudden just started shooting crazy, right? And takes 20 shots in that second half and then hits 3. That would have been concerning to me. In this case, it just seems like he let off the gas, kind of let the game come to some other players, let other guys make plays here, was a bit more of a facilitator, was not as aggressive, and there was no real material impact to him deciding to do that. So, I don't have any concerns there. I have no concerns at all. In fact, I'm very, very confident about Dame's performance in this series, because the problem is the Pacers don't have the personnel to guard on the perimeter. They can't. They don't have a choice. It's not like it was just an off night. They can't guard. They can't defend. We've known this. They're legitimately a bottom 5 defense. Now, what I will say, though, is moving forward, it's unlikely that McConnell and Halliburton and co look this inept, right? It's unlikely. You can't rely on them to play this bad every game, even with Pat Bev. Even if you have a great defender like that, this is abysmal. I mean, they only shot like 20% from 3 tonight. 16, I think 16% in the first half. I mean, it's unreasonable to expect them to be that terrible.
Oh, that's my audio going out. Can you hear me?
Say what?
Okay, my audio is going out. So my bad. My bad. My audio. I think my audio went out for a second. Were you still going? Keep going if you're going. I just lost you for a second in my head, so it sounded like you stopped talking. But keep going.
You good? No, I'm just saying, like, okay. No, I'm done. Are y'all finished? Y'all done?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely my audio. It's definitely me that's lagging here a little bit. And I told you guys at the onset of this that any audio problems, any issues, no Chris King here producing the show. So any problems, just attribute them to me. I heard some of what you said there, JT. I'm gonna slightly disagree with you. And so 608 UW says they were doubling him in the backcourt in the second half. He wasn't forcing. Karan Jammer-Kennard says they trapped Dame in the second half. And that is true. That's, I think, and I think you kind of alluded to, and I've seen some other thought that, maybe he let off the gas and was coasting a bit. I don't know that that's a thing in the NBA playoffs where you get up and start to coast at all. I mean, I get it naturally, but not to the point where you're not able to score at all in the second half. I think that had a little bit to do with how the Pacers adjusted. And so here's what I hope. I hope that the Bucks take it that no, but even if that's not what happened, I hope that the Bucks take it as the Indiana Pacers took Damian Lillard out of the game in the second half. That's what I hope they look, because at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you have adjustments coming into the next game. Because what you can't have is you come to the next game, they start doubling and trapping Damian Lillard, and it looks like you haven't worked on that from it looks like you didn't put anything on Monday to counteract that balance, right? So I do think you need to kind of figure out, hey, what was going on? Why were we not able to get you? Why were we not able to have? Again, I get you're not going to put up another 35, but why did you not have, or why were we not able to emulate some of the success that you did in the first half in the second? And really have that discussion and figure out ways to counterbalance, because I'm going to guess that Giannis is not going to be available. I will say the other encouraging thing I saw tonight, Giannis, and again, it's the Trae Young thing I talked about in the series that Trae Young missed against in Atlanta in 2021. Giannis was up tonight, and he was walking, he was moving around, he was happy. So it wasn't like he was just sitting stationary and couldn't put any weight on his foot. You saw him excited for his guys. So I think that means he's close. I think all the reports are that he's going to look to play at some point in this series. And again, I don't know if it's going to be game 2, but I got a feeling that, the Bucks need to figure out something to counteract the balance of the double teams and the traps if you're not going to have open shots hit. But again, I think they got open looks. But if you're Damian Lillard, if you're the Bucks, you cannot rely on AJ Green hitting shots and Malik Beasley hitting shots and you just can't rely on that, because it's not something that you've seen all of the time on a consistent basis.
That's true. I would agree with that. But I would also say, fortunately, we got Chris Middleton. Right? Fortunately, we got another guy that can absolutely go off if you leave him out there and you let him do that. right? We got that third option. We have another impact guy who can come out there and tilt the floor. Quite honestly, when he's hitting the shot, when he's out there, when he's at his best, Chris Middleton can certainly do that too. And we got Bobby Portis, who has been playing, let's say, for the last 6 weeks of basketball, some of the best basketball of his career as well. So, I mean, yeah, the thing is, the reason why I'm not as concerned about Dame in that second half is because, again, he only took 5 shots. So that tells me that he's not trying to play hero ball. He was not going to force it, even though they gave him different looks in that second half. It was like, okay, I'm a trusted, so I'm gonna let some of these other guys do their thing too, which is what we needed, and that's what we talked about on. It may have even been the last show of the regular season after the Magic game, where we were like, listen, these other guys, this is where we need John Horst's roster to show up here. We need to see the other guys on this roster show up here when Giannis is out during the Pacers, and for the most part, that happened tonight.
Yeah, no, it absolutely did. Let's talk JT though, and let's move off of Dame and talk about Game 2. What do you think you're going to see in Game 2? Do you think the Bucks? I mean, are you more convinced by what you saw in Game 1 today? I can't remember how many games you picked the Bucks. You had the Bucks in 7.
I had the Bucks. I had the Bucks in 7.
You had the Bucks in 7. I think I had the Bucks in 6. I think Chris had the Bucks in 7. Are you confident? And here's my thought process without Giannis was, and we talked about this on Bucks and 60, and we'll have a Bucks and 60 Monday night as well from 6 to 7 Central, 97.3 The Game, worldwide iHeartRadio. But I thought the thought process in my head was let's get a split. And I know that, and I know that typically that's the away team mindset is let's get a split and take home court back. But with no Giannis, maybe until Game 3, I'm thinking that for the Bucks, again, the Bucks, of course, your mindset is let's win them both. But I'm just talking from a realistic standpoint. I was hoping at the very least to get a split during this homestand. If you go get 2, I'm loving your prospects if you get 2. Do you feel better about the Bucks' chances going into Game 2 on Tuesday evening, based on what you saw Game 1, or again, do you think the adjustments are going to play out? Do the Bucks need another 35 from Dame to win that game? What are you seeing, and what are your thoughts as this series moves on into its second installment?
100%. I feel a lot better about the Bucks, and it's not even the Bucks' chances, and it's not even it's because I didn't expect the Bucks' game plan I didn't expect it to work as well against the guards. That was who I was worried about on Indiana, is the guards, right? And the fact that the guards, again, they looked close to inept tonight. They really did. They did not look good at all. That has me looking at this completely different, because I'm thinking, wow, if Halliburton can be a non-factor, if Nembhard can be a non-factor, if McConnell can be a non-factor, that means that, okay, we let Miles Turner and Siakam cook us, but remember, one of them is not going to cook when Giannis is out there. That's not going to happen. Yeah. So now that you see what I'm saying, you've completely changed their game plan, and again, they as a whole really can't defend. So no, I would change my revision. I think honestly, Bucks and 6, Bucks and 5 might even be reasonable, because this Indiana team, the moment looked way too big for them. They looked all out of sorts, and we weren't even at full strength. We ain't even have Giannis, and Giannis has gone for what, 50 and 60 plus against them this year already. I mean, no, I think this Indiana team, I think they were who we thought they were, right? They played for that in-season tournament. They peaked at that time, and they are not as good as people thought. This is a young team. The moment is way too big. Where is their superstar? Who on this team is going to put them on their back against this Bucks team? Because boy, there's a whole lot of Jags out there tonight. Guys just being just a guy, taking up space.
Well,
cardio.
And that's
cardio kings.
And that's a great point, JT. A lot of the playoffs come down to who's the best player on the floor. It doesn't matter about your team. It doesn't matter who is the best player on the floor. And if I have the best player, I'm going to have an opportunity to beat you. And the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, and that was a lot of the question, will you have the best player on the floor? You should. There's no reason why Damian Lillard isn't the best player on the floor. And tonight, the Bucks, without a shadow of a doubt, no question, the Bucks had the best player on the floor, bar none. Like it wasn't even close. Like it wasn't close. I mean, you could maybe say Siakam was second there, but I mean it was distant. His points were. It was almost a quiet thing. He ended up with more points than than Dame, but some of his points were quiet. Like Dame had a very loud 35, and again, he didn't score in the second half, but it was a loud 35, 100%. Okay, Chris is saying he had Bucks in 5. Okay, we had to roll. You might have to pull that tape, Chris. You might have to pull that tape. And then Chris also says like and subscribe so Trey can get a mic stand taken off. See you guys game 2. All right, Chris. Chris got jokes today. Iron Man Clan TV said if the Pacers can play 12, why can't we? And here's my thing. I don't think you want to. That is such a fallacy to me that in the playoffs you want to play 11 and 12 guys. Like I don't think Rick Carlisle. I get it. Maybe to some degree if you're down 30, maybe it makes sense like they were. But I don't think that is not a strength to me that you need to go 11, 12 deep in a playoff game. To me, that's when you shrink your bench. You play 8 or 9, whatever it is. Again, if you remember, the Milwaukee Bucks basically won a finals. They basically played 7 guys. I mean, realistically, the Bucks in 2021. I believe they played 8, and that 8th guy maybe played like 5 minutes or so. But the Bucks basically played starters, Pat Connaughton and Bobby Portis off the bench, and that was really it. That was the rotation in 2021. It was starters, Pat Connaughton, and Bobby Portis, and the Bucks won with that. Josh Davis says McConnell wasn't a huge factor. A lot of his productions when the game was already decided. And yeah, he has been much better. He and he is one of those guys that you don't want to see beat you. You hate when a guy like McConnell beats you. He missed some open threes, and some uncharacteristic shots from him. And I thought the Bucks defended him well. But going into game 2, JT, you answered that. I'm feeling a sneaky bit of confidence. Like I do feel, and I think Karan Jimmer also said that Doc addressed during post game he addressed post game the adjustments that Indiana made, and so they'll adjust, which I'm glad to hear. I feel good. Like I really feel good. I wanted this. Damian Lillard, again, this is what you brought him here for. He said it. This is what y'all brought me here for. We said all along, even throughout the criticism, I just said this on Bucks and 60. I said this on 9 and noon. There was something inside of me, this sneaky feeling that Damian Lillard, would I be surprised if Damian Lillard went off all play? Absolutely not. Like, that it's there. You've seen it. That was Damian Lillard's first playoff game in a couple of years. I think he mentioned after the game that last year he went to Coachella. And he was like, it's the first time he's ever been able to go to Coachella because he's always been in the playoffs. And he hadn't been able to go to the playoffs, so now he got to go to Coachella. So, and now he's back in this playoff mode. And that's good. I guess I really, really feel like the Bucks have the advantages even without Giannis. I know somebody else in the chat said the Indiana beat writer said that Giannis is going to give it a go in game 2. I would welcome that, and I think if you can. Here's where I'll end at. If the Bucks can get the Pacers down 2-0 without Giannis, if Giannis walks to that building game 3, you talk about the confidence they thought they had. They thought they had confidence beating the Bucks 4 out of 5 times without in the regular season. If you lose to them twice with no Giannis, that confidence it would be shot.
Look, you lose to them twice. If the Bucks win this next game, I think you legitimately got to be talking about sweep potential for the Pacers. I think at that point, if the Bucks win this game on Tuesday, especially with no Giannis, you're talking about there's a very high percentage chance that this Pacers team gets sweep. Gentlemen sweep at the worst, but because think about the Bucks aren't going to get worse when Giannis comes back into the lineup, right? It's not going that's not going to happen. Giannis comes back into the lineup and he's likely to go for 50-something, 60 points. Everybody else is playing their part. I mean, and they can't play defense. If they win on Tuesday, I think it's legit. The Bucks have a legitimate chance of sweeping this Pacers team.
Man, it's crazy to think that we're talking.
Wild,
it's crazy, and I think so. It's crazy to think that after what we saw in the regular season. It's also crazy, that again these are the kind of things that happen, and this is the kind of talk, and I can't wait to hear what the national media has to say on Monday because they're going to be a lot. There are a lot of people who picked the Indiana Pacers to win this series, and there's going to be a lot of scrambling based upon what you saw on Monday, based upon what you saw tonight, a 109-94 victory. You ready to go game balls?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Game ball. I'll let you go first. I'll go first. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to Damian Lillard. There's no question. I can't even pretend I'm gonna give it to somebody else. 35, 6 and 3, 11 for 24 from the field, 6-11 from three. Damian Lillard, and he only had 3 turnovers too, which is huge. Damian Lillard tonight again not only showed you why you traded for him, but these are the differences. Like, these are the difference makers. This is what it's like to be a superstar in the NBA. This is what it's like. You're able to go out without Giannis and have a guy that can have Giannis-like numbers and put up Giannis-like performances. Damian Lillard absolutely did that, and hats off to him. We want to see more of it. And I'll say these are the type of nights that you look at Damian Lillard, you look what he does, and you add Giannis to that, and you say, this team can compete with the Boston Celtics. I don't want to look ahead, but this is a team that can compete going on these. This is that was a championship night from Damian Lillard. He gives him a game ball.
And I refuse to do that. I refuse to look ahead at the Boston Celtics. What I'll say though, right? Because I know somebody in the chat's gonna say game ball's got to go to Glorilla. I get it. I get it. But if you're going to give it to Dame, I would also give it to Dame. But part of me wants to give it to Chris because I thought Chris stepped up tonight. And I thought Chris played really well, especially in the moments where Dame was out. I thought Chris kind of helped keep the team on his. Chris and Bobby doing their thing. Again, I talked about it earlier, that big 14-3 run in that second quarter. And then, of course, Chris having a decent second half with 15 in the second half and 8 in the first. Chris Middleton, man, 23 and 10 tonight. The way he balled out, I'm gonna go ahead and give it. Let's go ahead and spread the love to him too. I think, great night, great team win tonight for this Bucks team.
Absolutely. It was a great team win. Robert Henry saying Portis, hope he's okay. He did go out with a little like he had a knee somewhere on his knee, but I think it looked like he'll be okay though. I think Q Money Adventure says I prefer Giannis to be off the court when Dame is on because he messes up Dame's rhythm. So maybe all shade them. But again, I hear some of that, but that your optimal lineup, your best, having your best players on the floor is what's best for a team. So the point is to win a championship, they've got to figure out how to be on the floor together at all times, and they have played well at times together on the floor. They've got to figure that out, how to do that 100%. Because that's when you're at your best, not alternating them. I get where you say there's more space and guys can kind of pick and choose what they want to do, but they got to be good together. Green Ranger says game ball to Doc Rivers. Guys, we're ready to play and compete. I don't disagree with that at all. I got to give Doc Rivers credit too. Like to me, he outcoached and coached circles around Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle didn't make adjustments in the second quarter, and he made adjustments down 30. I mean, it's a little too late. there, Rick. Maybe that's why you're still sitting on one championship from 2011.
And zero playoff series wins since 2011. Do you know? I don't think this Pacers team has won an actual playoff series since 2014.
Well, yeah, no.
I don't even think they've been to the playoffs since like 2020 to 2021, something around there. I think that's the last time they've even been in the playoffs, period. But they have not won a playoff series in 10 years. And guess what? It's about to be 11. They're not going to win this one. They're not going to win this playoff series.
Well, no. This group in particular definitely hadn't. I think Pascal Siakam has had some. And again, you go to, I think they mentioned on the broadcast too. Who was the best player tonight for Indiana? It was Pascal Siakam. He's one of the few guys in Indiana who has playoff experience. Light's not too bright. I understand this moment. Here's what it is. They're going to need to lean. If you're an Indiana Pacers fan, you need to lean on Pascal Siakam because he's a guy that is a veteran who has seen it, who's seen championships. That's, in Toronto. It makes a difference. When you're doing something you've never done before, you need that. And the Bucks have that. So, again, for all the criticism that John Horst has had with all the veterans, and tonight was a big, again, I said it earlier. It's the reason why veterans get paid.
You can lean on them if you want to. If you're taking a group of fellas through the Amazon at night and one dude got a flashlight, tell me, and that's what Siakam was tonight. One dude out of a group of 10 that got a flashlight. Everybody else just sitting here looking around. They're using their eyes and ears in the damn Amazon. And you're gonna tell me we're gonna lean on Pascal? Okay, I'll take that all day, every day, right? Okay, yeah. Let's see what Siakam got. Yeah, yeah, right. Because Halliburton and everybody else, they in the back talking about, yeah, what was that noise? I don't know. Sound like it was this. That's pretty much what them dudes were doing tonight.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. Let's take a look around the NBA today. The Clippers won 109-97 over the Mavericks. They lead their series 109-1-0. Boston wins 114-94. Take care of the Heat. All tied up at 43 at the half. Thunder Pels. That series, like I said, everybody's in game one. These scores, very low. Again, playoffs are just so different. 43-43 Thunder's Pelicans right now. Yesterday, you saw the Cavaliers. Nobody reaches 100. 97-83, the Cavaliers beat the Magic. The Timberwolves beat the Suns 120-95. The Knicks beat the 76ers. That was probably maybe the best game, just game of the first set of games in the playoffs. Beating the Sixers, Joel Embiid and Jalen Brunson there, and then a 114-103 victory of the Nuggets over the Lakers. So far, John Tyus, every home team has won game one. Every home team has won. We're still waiting on what happens Thunder Pels. Do you think that continues? And I guess what is your overall makeup before we get out of here on some of these other games? And again, all home teams win, so everything's status quo right now. And as they always say, JT, a playoff series doesn't start till the home team loses. So who out of all these teams do you think is at risk of dropping home court advantage?
That's a good question, man. I was a little disappointed in the Mavericks. I thought they would win this first game. I really did against this Clippers team. I guess the good James Harden came out tonight, and he showed up. But, yeah, and I knew the Heat didn't have a fighting chance because, again, playoff Jimmy's out, right? Butler's out. And to be honest, I think the Heat are going to get swept. So, I think the Heat have one win in them without playoff Jimmy because, again, they don't have the squad that they had last year as well. Now, the game to watch, though, is the Pelicans and Thunder because you would think the Thunder have just a significant advantage over the Pelicans, but the way they really kind of fought this thing out to make it there and they're inspired. They feel like they belong there. They're gritty. I mean, I would imagine – I still think the Thunder probably win that series, but I think the Pelicans might steal a couple games there. I think they definitely I certainly think that's possible.
Yeah, right now, and with no Zion, I don't know when Zion's going to be back, so that'll be interesting to see how that works. And again, good. I'm watching this game right now. Obviously, we're doing the show, but again, they have it tied up 43 all right now. R. Smith says, Pacers fan here. Yep, no playoff win since 2014 against the Wizards. And then Green Ranger says, if Pascal Siakam is your best player, you're a lottery team. Just ask the Raptors. Again, well, Green Ranger, that's the thing. Pascal Siakam is not supposed to be their best player. Their best player is supposed to be Tyrese Halliburton. He's got to be the one that leads them. He's got to. At the end of the day, for the Indiana Pacers, if I'm looking at Indiana and what they can do to be better, Tyrese Halliburton's got to play better. There's no way around. Like, he cannot have the numbers that he had. Again, that's like for starters. Before you get to defending Damian Lillard and double teams and what works and scheme, like at the end of the day, your best players have to play well. That's what you talk about that Dallas game, JT. Luka Doncic didn't play well until he almost had window dressing. I know he finished with a nice night, but it was window dressing. Like, you have to play well from start to finish. And just because, when you get down 30, it's like, your boy Matt Ryan, his whole career, man. Like, you down just because you putting up numbers on you down 3 touchdowns and you finished with 3 scores and it was 42 to 33 because y'all were down 3 touchdowns and you throw 2 at the end of the game. That don't do nothing for me. It just makes your numbers look good at the end. That's what Luka did. And again, that's at the end of the day, you have to put up numbers in this league. You have to compare. You cannot have. If you're the Indiana Pacers, you cannot have Patrick Beverley giving you the same. And I say this again, it doesn't matter who you are. I'll say the same thing, and that's why I don't feel bad about how I talked about Dame all regular season. It's the same thing. If you're Tyrese Halliburton, I can't look over and have Patrick Beverley have the same stat line. You're not going to win games. Like, you're not going to win games if Tyrese Halliburton and Patrick Beverley are both with what Tyrese had 9 points, 7 boards, 8 assists. Patrick Beverley had 5.7 rebounds, 8 assists. You're not winning games like that. Patrick Beverley's matching output. You can't win.
And to be fair, TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton combined for less than 20 points, right? Like that's right. That's a huge fact. That can't happen. That just can't happen if you're the Indiana Pacers. Not when you're a team that their whole getup is predicated on offense. They are an offense. They basically say, if you're going to beat us, you got to score. You got to score over 120 points. That's pretty much how they get down. That's just what it is, because they score offensively. But when those two are not clicking, they do not have the defense to make up for that. That's just not the way this team works.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Q Money Venture says, great stream, man. Y'all doing big things. Keep it coming. We appreciate that. Iron Man Clan TV says, I don't know if even Jimmy would save the Heat against the behemoth in Boston. I think that's I would agree with that as well. Boston just looks inevitable right now, especially for a team like the Miami Heat. But the Bucks are rolling. They're up 1-0 on the Indiana Pacers. That may be a shock to some, as the Bucks were actually talking about his home teams. I'm assuming that nobody else was a home underdog. The Bucks were home underdogs today, 1.5 points. A lot of money came in on the Pacers, so the Bucks won. This is the Bucks 100% won today. There's a lot of money was coming in on Indiana, and the Bucks bucked that trend, 109-94. Hey, if you're still hanging around, again, appreciate everybody for listening, watching, and staying with us. I do want to let you know, and again, we'll do a better job at this game too. I really couldn't do it because I'm producing the show and it's tough. But when Chris gets back, we'll do a better job at it. I want you to go. We're partnering with a new app called Autograph. Okay, the Autograph app. If you go to my Twitter at TCIIIESQ, I've put out a couple links. I'll retweet another one again tonight. Go to the Autograph app. It's a one-stop shop for all things Bucks, Bucks related articles, videos, whatever you want to see on the Bucks. You go to the Autograph app. You use my code. My referral code is Cream City Crossover. That's the code. You see it right here at the top of the screen. Cream City Crossover is the referral code. They're partnering with the CCC, the Triple C's. Go to Autograph. Use that code. You'll get all that information. And here's the other thing. The other beauty about it, JT. You know what else they do with the Autograph app?
What they do?
You can get free, not free tickets. They have free giveaways, free prizes, and I'm talking about playoff tickets. You can get cheap playoff tickets. All of that. I know they did a raffle, a giveaway where like tickets. They were giving away tickets for like $20 for this playoff game today. So they do a lot of that kind of stuff. Again, go to the Autograph app. Again, we'll have more information for you. But it's the Autograph app, and the referral code is Cream City Crossover.
Hey man, listen. Let me just tell you, if we should have led with the free playoff tickets when we talking about this Autograph app, right? Now let's just get down to where the rub is that, right? If they're giving away free playoff tickets, then yeah, man, I encourage y'all to download, subscribe, do whatever it is you got to do to go ahead and see if we can get free playoff tickets. We need everybody we can get into that Fiserv Forum, and yeah, they'll have great Bucks content on there for you too. But again, potential of getting free playoff tickets. I mean, and the best part is the playoff tickets right now, I mean, with the pricing, they're not even unreasonable. But again, who doesn't like free stuff?
Right. When I hear free, I'm in.
Spend that money at the bar.
Yes, absolutely. So again, we'll have some more information on that. But if you go to my Twitter at TCIIIESQ, I'll tweet out another link for it. Referral code Cream City Crossover. Man, want to thank our sponsors tonight. Like I said, Autograph, and want to thank the law office of Daly M. Johnson. We need defense where?
Off the court.
Daly M. Johnson, great partner all year long. 608-893-8370.
70.
And like I said, man, if you end up like Glorilla and you drink a little too much and driving, call law office of Daly M. Johnson. I don't know. Maybe when Glorilla gets here for these courtside tickets, maybe she'll be. I hope she's not, but maybe she gets in some trouble. I don't know. But if she does, if she does and she gets in trouble and she asks anybody, you let her know to call Daly M. Johnson. Robin here says y'all got a Facebook page as well. No, we do not have a Facebook page. Maybe we should worry about that. You know, we a little young for some Facebook pages, but We do have a Twitter, though. It's at Cream City Crossover. You'll find us there. Q Money says, I hope they ain't nosebleeds. I don't know where I don't know where the tickets are. I'm not, guarantees.
Hey, TC, what you tell them all the time? Come on in the room.
Just get in the room. Get in the building.
Come on in the room. Right.
Listen, I've gone to playoff games standing room. Not bad at all. So I've done it all, man. I've done it all. Bucks win it tonight, 109-94. JT, any final words on a big Milwaukee Bucks victory? They are leading this series 1-0.
Belt to ass to it. We got the playoff belt to ass. Went and got the new belt, right? First, somebody may have been using a house shoe switch, whatever it is. No, sir. We got the new belt. Pop that thing out tonight and put it to work. Great team win for the Bucks. Great team win. Credit goes to Dame. Credit goes to Doc. Credit goes to Chris and Bobby and Brooke and everybody for stepping up tonight, stealing one from the Pacers. Let's keep this momentum going on Tuesday. And again, I'm telling y'all right now, if this team wins on Tuesday, bring the broom out because I think that sweep is coming, especially if the team wins without Giannis again on Tuesday.
Talking spicy, man. Again, love the way, again, the energy. This is why I love the playoffs. The energy is a little different. And, again, one win, changes the momentum, changes the thought process, changes a lot of things for a lot of people. So, again, a fun times 109-94 Bucks win. I'm with you, JT, man. I thought the Bucks were good tonight. Damian Lillard gets all the praise, all the credit for everything that he did. And, again, you talk about shutting up haters and whatever the motivation is behind it, that's what we want to see from Damian Lillard. It is the playoffs. Flip that switch, whatever you got to do. But this is one of those wins where you look at it and you go, okay, I see why the Bucks did what they did. I see what they have. And you want to see this continue to move forward. Bucks win it 109-94. We appreciate everybody for watching, tuning in to the Cream City Crossover, listening to us. We encourage you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. We're here with you every single night throughout the playoffs. You can also catch us on 97.3 The Game and I think 10.7 The Game as well. Also out in Madison and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We're on live. This week we're on Monday after the Bucks and 60. It's just tomorrow, because Bucks play, so we'll do some of this. We'll talk about the Bucks on Monday, and then we're also going to be Bucks and 60 live. We have Cream City Crossover Tuesday night after the game, and then we'll do a Bucks in 60 on Wednesday afternoon. Excuse me, not Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night on 97.3 The Game. So, again, you catch us everywhere, content all over the place. Listen, man, we're working hard for the people in the playoffs. Again, tell a friend about the Cream City Crossover. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Trey Crosby III.
JT.
The Bucks are winners, man. 109-94. If we are your enemy, it's only because we dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels. Courage.